Welcome to Speak For Yourself. Hey, I see Marcellus Wiley. I see Slick Rick the Bucher. That ain't Acho. All right, Acho. You're out today once again, but we got co-host of The Herd, Joey Taylor, in the building right now, so let's get it moving. All right, that means prompter keep going. I can't say anything if prompter doesn't keep going. All right, there we go. It's time for Reward Performance. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Nothing was in my prompter. Anyway, the Packers will be in Arizona tonight on Fox in a matchup between two NFL heavyweights. Packers are a very impressive 6-1, but the Cardinals still unbeaten with a 7-0 record. Aaron Rodgers will have some obstacles. Two of his top targets, Davante Adams and Allen Lazard, will both be out tonight after being placed on the COVID-19 list. So, Slick, can Aaron Rodgers pull off the upset tonight?
How dare you even doubt the reigning MVP of the NFL? Yes,
it's a question.
He can pull off
it's a damn question,
an upset.
What?
You're asking the question.
Oh, true.
It begs the question, right? No, without question, Aaron Rodgers can pull this off because I think you're familiar with playoff Rondo. Rest in peace, because I don't know that we're going to see him again.
He gone.
But there's also primetime Rodgers. And if you look at what Aaron Rodgers has done in primetime, 8-0, 134.5 passer rating, 26 TDs, 1 interception. Doesn't matter who he's playing, doesn't matter where they're playing, doesn't matter what he has around him. Aaron Rodgers in prime time is undefeated, and you see the absolute best of Aaron Rodgers. So you can give me all you want about all the things that make the Cardinals better, not having defensive coordinator
really?
Joe Barry, not having Davante Adams, not having Lazard. Aaron Rodgers finds a way to get it done in prime time. Will he? I'm not betting on it. But do I think that he can? Absolutely, he can.
Come on, Slick. Don't try and do that 8 Mile. Oh, you can give me all you want. Oh, you can't doubt Aaron Rodgers. In all of those wins, he never was going into it as undermined, underhanded, and compromised as he is in this situation right now. And I'm going to break down what all those words mean to this situation. First of all, you just say Davante Adams, you just be like, well, he's just their top receiver. But, hey, they got backup receivers. I'm going to remind you of all players in the NFL in receiving this year that he is only second to Deebo Samuel in terms of percentage of the offense. Only second to Deebo Samuel. So he's not just Davante Adams, #1 receiver for Aaron Rodgers. He'll find another. That's a lot of their offense. Second of all, you got to look at this team in totality. 6-1 record, but who have they beaten? 4 of their 6 wins have come against teams with losing records. So look, I'm not going to take anything away from them. A win is a win in the NFL, but at the same time, they're going against an undefeated team that hasn't lost a game yet. And they're not as compromised as the team that's coming in that's already lost a game and has beaten up some, you can say, suspect opponents. Detroit, San Francisco, that used to look good. Not now. Chicago, and the Washington no mascot football team. Man, get up out of here. Going into week 7, this Packers team wasn't even about the offense. It was about the issues on defense. Packers defense allowed touchdowns in all 15 red zone attempts. Come on, man. You mean teams are going into the red zone, soon they got in the red zone, they was like, we ain't even got to finish this. We know how this is going to end up. This is going to end up in touchdown pay dirt. That's what this Packers team was doing up to this moment. Now they're going into a game without their top 2 receivers, without their defensive coordinator, and you're just going to bring up historical numbers on Aaron Rodgers in prime time. Sorry, it's not going to be enough to shine in this game against the undefeated team.
The question is, can they pull off the upset tonight? Yes, they can pull off the upset tonight. That dude. They got that dude.
Oh, who that? Who that?
That dude. That dude. Aaron Rodgers is that dude. I actually have the Packers winning tonight, 34-31. They are 6-0 in games without Davante Adams. I understand the value that Davante Adams brings to the team, and so does Aaron Rodgers, and he said it, they're not a better team without him. But they're going to move the ball around. Also, J.J. Watt is not going to be there. He's much more than a rah-rah guy. They're going to be running the ball. He's not going to be there in the middle. Actually, sad, he's probably going to be out for the season, which sucks. But I agree with you, Wiley. They do have They do have a more impressive list of wins in Arizona. Kyler Murray is playing unbelievable football. They are a more complete team. They aren't completely reliant on one particular receiver, the way that the Packers would be on Davante Adams. But they do have quite an impressive run game. They do have that dude. They have a very capable tight ends. And I'm sorry, but 6.5 points is just disrespectful to Aaron Rodgers. It's too much. Listen, the Packers are a great team. This is an incredible matchup tonight. I really think it's going to be much more even than everyone thinks. 6.5 points is way too much, and they can definitely get the upset.
Yeah, I can't believe you, Marcellus. You're the same guy I've heard repeatedly on this program say, you can't hold it against them who they play. How many times have I heard you use that argument?
Only
and now you're going to do that very thing with the Green Bay Packers. You're going to hold against them who they played. They can only play who they play.
Facts.
And Joy, I'm so glad you brought up the Davante Adams. Has he been great this year? Absolutely. Has he been great in the past? Absolutely. Have they been able to win? In fact, are they undefeated? As Joy said, 6-0 under Matt LaFleur without Davante Adams. Yes, they are. And if there is a weakness with this Arizona Cardinals team, it is their rushing defense. And that's why it's not just going to be Aaron Rodgers. The opportunity is for Aaron Jones to shine in this. And going by the odds makers, they're suggesting that this is going to be a scoring affair because they got the over-under at 50.5. That means some points are going to be scored in this game. And if it comes to a shootout and you're asking me which arm I'm going to rely on, which veteran experience I'm going to rely on, as great as Kyler Murray has been, I'm going to go with, as you would say, that dude.
Oh, come on, y'all. Y'all ain't going to be pulling on my heartstrings, saying my name, making me soften my stance. Hell no. It's going to get ugly out there. Vegas got this one right, as Vegas usually does. That's why they keep building casinos, and we just keep going there giving our money because they know the formula. And the formula for success is to bet on the Arizona Cardinals in this matchup. Let's just go deep. So deep that it's simple. Tell me which team should win. Is it the team that has the better offense in every major category, rushing offense, passing offense, points per game, and total yards? Is it that team, but that same team, mind you, also has a better pass defense, better total defense, a better scoring defense? Should that team win or the other team that is just better in rush defense? Anybody? Anybody? Vegas? Anybody? Yeah, exactly. Give up the joysticks. That's what kind of game this is going to be. 21 donut, give up the joysticks. We just going to finish this out because we got advertisers and we need our checks. This game is going to be blowout city. It's just that simple. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers right now because everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, look at the record. Only one blemish. I respect that. I don't respect it as much as a team that has no blemishes, but I respect that. But is Aaron Rodgers' passing yards per game lower than Daniel Jones's, Jalen Hurts', Baker Mayfield? Why do I bring that up? Because I know you're better than all of them put together. The thing is Chandler Jones coming back to play tonight? Y'all keep talking about J.J. Watt. Chandler Jones makes this defensive line, not J.J. Watt. And the wattage is not as bright as it used to be. Respect to J.J. Watt. He will be missed because of his push. But Chandler Jones is the one that gets to the quarterback. So you add all of that up. They're compromised in the receiving game, which means, hey, press man coverage. Let's just go up there, rob your receivers, these backups, whoever they may be. Oh, you're going to get cute. You're going to put Aaron Jones out at wide receiver and then use your running back depth at running back. I got you because you got Aaron Rodgers. That's going to make it work, right? Here's the problem with that. Now we are going to dictate terms to you on offense because of how we're going to play you on defense. What is Aaron Rodgers going to do? He can't throw the ball and catch the ball and run the ball. Shout out to Giselle. So the point is, Aaron Rodgers is going to look around and say, it's me and just me, the Lone Ranger. Not enough.
No, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to do that. Aaron has a lot of experience, Marcellus. He's a lot of experience in big games. And as he mentioned, they've found a way to do this before. I actually think that the Packers' best way of winning this game tonight, and I don't think I'm revealing anything dramatic here, is to keep Kyler Murray on the sideline.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? They're going to run the ball. What did we just mention? J.J. Watt's not there. Now, they are getting Chandler Jones back, so that is a huge bonus for them. But Aaron Jones ain't no slouch, okay?
No, he beats.
So he is. So I think they're going to actually use him a lot in the passing game as well. They're going to spread it around. They're going to keep things moving, shorter passes. Devontae's not there for the big play option. they're going to have a game plan going in tonight, and I feel good about teams that have experience in a game where they have to overcome some obstacles. And it's not just on the Packers side, these obstacles, as we keep mentioning. So everyone's dealing with injuries at this point in the season. You're going to have to overcome some things. They've done it before. I have faith they can do it again. And this is not a knock on the Cardinals. If the Cardinals win this game convincingly, that's what they're supposed to do. But the question is, can the Packers win tonight? And they absolutely can. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. And I think it's a very evenly matched, great game between two of the best teams in the NFC. And we'll see what happens. But I still have faith in, and I'm going to do it again, that dude.
I ain't
That dude. Marcellus, you gave me all these numbers.
You stuck.
We're talking about an upset. It's an upset because of all the things that you stated in terms of where the Cardinals are ranked.
That's true.
But the numbers say that these teams are still closer. The odds makers say that these teams are still closer because the initial line was -3, which is basically for the home team, that's a push. And so you add in now that Davante Adams is going to not be there, Lazard's not going to be there, and they only give him 3.5 more points. I mean, basically a field goal. The suggestion is the odds makers are not completely sold on the Cardinals being dominant either. So you go there, and then you gave me the passer ratings of, I gave you the passer rating. I hate to repeat myself. Primetime Rodgers, 134.5 passer rating. That's the only number you need to know.
Is it?
8-0 in prime time. Yes, because when are they playing? Oh, they're playing in prime time tonight.
Gonna dig a grave.
What is Aaron Rodgers in prime time? He's undefeated since 2020 in the last 2 years. What else do you need to know? Does he have a chance?
I need to know.
Absolutely, he has a chance.
If Aaron Rodgers respects Thursday night as primetime games, I'm going to take y'all deeper than just the surface layer. You know, it used to be a day where there were no Sunday night games. I remember. I played in that area. Joy, you know about that era. You used to go to games. Your brother played in that era. We also didn't have Thursday night games. I played in that era. Now, all of a sudden, football was like, it ain't good enough to just take away the church's holiday on Sunday. Let's take Monday, and then let's take Thursday, and we got all these days, right? And I'm looking at a record that you say in primetime games that's undefeated. However, Rodgers has a career record of 10-4 in Thursday games. What had happened? Where'd that come from? Is it really prime time to Aaron Rodgers?
That's a pretty good record.
That's pretty good, but
that's a pretty darn good record. Thank you, Joy.
And guess what? That's great when you got a fully loaded roster.
Oh, wait a minute.
When you got your weapons, when you got what you need. When you ain't got that record all of a sudden look like you win some, you lose some as well. And I'm coming into this situation. I ain't gonna tell you Kyler Murray's record on Thursday because it ain't as good as well.
Yeah, I know. That's what I just got in my ear.
It's even worse. He's sucking his 0-2. But here's the thing. He ain't got a lot of opportunities yet. He ain't got as many as Aaron Rodgers. Here's the thing that I'm really gonna bank on. It's the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there. He knows that he's compromising. He knows that he's Aaron Rodgers. So he's going to try to save the day. We're watching another great right now in Kansas City try to save the day when they're undermined, when they're underhanded, when they don't have all the players that they need. And that's Patrick Mahomes. What is that formula for success when you see a quarterback try to do too much? It's not a winning formula. It's a formula for you getting your numbers, maybe putting up a couple points, but ultimately losing. You're going to need a defensive effort. And if I look at every major statistical category, I misspoke earlier, they're not even better in rushing defense, Green Bay. Not a single damn category are they better than the Arizona Cardinals, including the one that matters most, the win-loss column. Coming up, there's a youth movement at quarterback, and it's hot in here, Joy. The hell? I'll tell you which quarterback from the 25 or younger club is ready for a Super Bowl run. But first, speaking of quarterback, Dak Prescott's status for Sunday night is in question. I'll tell you if I'm nervous about the Cowboys. That's next on Speak for Yourself with the spooky music.
That take was spooky.
Damn, you like it hot, huh?
The Cowboys are red hot with their 5-game win streak, but there are questions about their star, Dak Prescott. Dak was limited in practice Wednesday with his calf strain as his Cowboys prepare to face another hot team Sunday night in the Vikings, who have won 3 out of 4 games. Mike McCarthy gave an update on his QB. Take a listen.
He's going to practice. He's going to go through the individual part of it. He's in the game plans. I mean, he's preparing to play. But he's got to cross the threshold to make sure he's full go.
So, Marcellus, are you worried about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott?
Oh, yeah, I'm worried. I was worried as soon as I heard the word threshold. Come on, coach. Threshold? Threshold doesn't sound like it's right by you, does it? Like when someone said you got to cross the threshold, that means like, hey, how far? Binoculars? Telescope? What? Like, threshold doesn't mean like Dak is close. It means like Dak needs to do some things to get to the threshold and then cross it. It's kind of like when somebody says something is over here versus it's right here. If it's right here, yeah, okay, dog, I'm with you. If it's over there, come on, man. And that's what Mike McCarthy just leaked out. And then now, currently, as we're doing this right now live on television, Dak Prescott is speaking about his calf injury, admitting that it was serious. Duh, Dak. Admitting that it was connected to the ankle injury of prior. Duh, Dak. Now this is a problem. That's why I'm nervous right here, because Coach was leaking, and now Dak is at the podium going all Usher confessions and just telling everybody, yeah, dog, I'm kind of messed up. My injury is serious. I never played the quarterback position in the NFL. Duh. But I did play with a calf strain, and I did have to cross thresholds from a Wednesday practice all the way to play on that Sunday. Let's just say I wasn't myself. And that's a football player who can use major muscles to compensate when you play D-line. You can use your quads, your hammies. You can get away with it, right? Run flat-footed. When you play quarterback, you got to use those intrinsic muscles, those small, minor muscles. And it all comes to play because it's a mechanical movement. They have to make sure that their foot is planted properly. If not, the ball's going to hit the beer man. The ball's going to hit the popcorn man. The ball's going to go everywhere on Dak Prescott. These are the reasons I'm nervous. They're leaking, they're confessing, they're admitting there's a problem in D-Town.
Confessions, you know what? That was a serious moment for me in my life.
Uh-oh.
Listen, they were like our couple, okay? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I already know.
Of course I'm nervous. Of course I'm nervous. This team runs through Dak Prescott. They've made major strides this year. They're playing great. The defense looks improved. Zeke is running better. But this goes through Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush and Will Grier are not inspiring fear in any opponents. Now, if Dak is healthy and he's there, I'm not even concerned about it. But if he's not, they have a lot to worry about. Now, there is one saving grace. There's one saving grace, one sneaky little note about this particular game that does work in the Cowboys' favor. And that is that they're playing Kirk Cousins in prime time. We were just talking about prime time in the last segment. Kirk Cousins is not good in primetime. So even if Dak is not available, and they do have to go with Cooper Rush or Will Grier, Kirk Cousins is 8 for 16 in his career in primetime, 4-7 with the Vikings. His last 3 years against playoff teams or teams with winning records since he arrived in Minnesota has a record of 4-17 against playoff games. 2018 was 1-6. 2019, 1-4. 2020, 2-7. So we know what Kirk Cousins is. He's great in the 1 o'clock hour. So they have that working in their favor, do the Cowboys, because they are rolling. And that's what Kirk Cousins does when the lights are bright. But if Dak Prescott is not healthy, they are in a good situation. They are in a good situation. They have a 3.5-game lead in the NFC East. They're not struggling right now. If they need to sit him another week so he can get completely healthy, do that. Yeah. The Vikings are capable of winning this game if he's not out there. But if you can count on anything, you can count on Kirk Cousins struggling in primetime.
Yeah, I've been a bundle of nerves with the Cowboys all season long. As you guys well know, I've expressed that a number of times on the show. I am now zen. I am now calm. The Cowboys have gotten me over being nervous about them. I was nervous about Dak Prescott when he had the muscle strain and wasn't able to practice. And he wasn't able to practice after missing most of last season. And what have the Cowboys and Dak Prescott done? They've defied all of that. So when I look at this, yeah, you must have a big house, Marcellus, because the threshold is basically the front door. And if that's a long way from everything else, that means that you have a really big house. I actually appreciate the fact that Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys are approaching it this way, and they are being as accurate as they can about where he is. Dak Prescott is being accurate where he is and where he's been. That hasn't always been the case. So I think there's been some lessons learned, and I'm going to take them at their word that, yes, he needs to take that final step across the threshold, but they believe that he's right there to be able to take that step. And this may sound like we're piling on Kirk Cousins, but, well, I'm going to have to pile on Kirk Cousins because, to me, that's the missing linchpin in the reason for the Cowboys to be nervous. And surprisingly enough, it's not because of Dak Prescott and the offense. I'll get to that in a second. It's because of the defense. Yes, the Minnesota Vikings are 3-3 and have won 3 out of the last 4 games. And yes, Kirk Cousins has one of his best TD to interception ratios that he's had in quite some time, maybe even career-wise, percentage-wise. But you need to look at who he's played against up to this point and how the Cowboys' defense ranks in terms of ability on takeaways and interceptions versus everybody that Kirk Cousins has played up to this point. There's a stark difference. Outside of the Cardinals, there isn't anybody that is going to threaten to take the ball away from the Vikings and Cousins. You add that combination of an opportunistic Cowboys defense with Cousins' record in prime time, as Joy noted, and that is a bad recipe. That is a recipe for disaster for the Vikings to do something special against the Cowboys.
Man, y'all think y'all slick up here. Oh, one of y'all is slick up here. Slick Rick. Boy, stop. I love it. Boy, y'all got to decode these words that people are out here just spewing because you guys can really just say something and really not mean what you're saying, Slick. You say opportunistic, and you want us to think that's a positive. That means that most things you're not doing well, but every now and then you get out of character and do something great. That's what opportunistic means. That means you'll get an interception even though you're getting up yards all up and down the field. Cowboys defense, 4th worst in the NFL in pass defense. 4th worst in sacks. And they're 20th ranked in scoring defense. And this is an improved defense, and I'll give them applause, but opportunistic, you're right. That means for the meat of the game, most of the game, they're going to let you have an opportunity to go out there and make some noise. Here's another thing that you try to say in code. Oh, I'm going to take Dak at his word. He's fine. Dak was limited at Wednesday's practice. Let me tell you what that really means. Let's decode what that means. He plays quarterback, and he's limited at practice. Every quarterback in the league is already limited at practice because you can't touch them. They wear red jerseys. Oh, God, it's protected airspace. Do not touch the quarterback. And he's limited in a limited capacity? That lets you know there's something wrong. Let's go back to when the injury occurred, last play of the game. The reason why it was good for him, it was the last play of the game, because we didn't get a chance to see how he would perform with the injury. But we saw him limping off the field in Foxborough, right? All of a sudden, precautionary. He puts a boot on at a damn interview at the podium? Come on, bro. We all know the game. We know it's better than that. So then he does all of that, and then now I'm fine. It's nothing. And then you come out limited in practice in a limited capacity because you play quarterback with a red jersey on. And then the questions start firing. Hey, man, I thought it was all precautionary. Thought it wasn't serious. And now Dak is admitting it. You know why he's admitting it now? Because I think right now the prospects are he probably won't play. Just conjecture there. Let me tell you what these Minnesota Vikings are thinking if Dak doesn't play. Oh, we can win if he does play. We certainly can win if he doesn't play. You got to remember that they've won 3 of their last 4 ball games. You also have to remember that this team has 3 losses that were 1 score, including 2 of the 3 by only 3 points. They're that close right there. Dak Prescott on the field. If Dak Prescott all of a sudden, because of this serious injury, is not on the field, oh, Dallas is in some trouble.
Where's the almost win column?
Don't do that. She got me.
Oh,
Thank you.
we don't have those?
Thank you, Joy.
I'm with you, Marcellus. It's definitely something to be concerned about. And going into the season, there was a reason to be concerned about Dak moving forward. You want him healthy for the whole season. And he's coming off of a major injury. And as you know, sometimes when you come off of a major injury, you tweak other things. You're a little weaker in some places.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get back to your new version of 100%. The only reason we bring up Kirk Cousins and the Vikings is because they've beaten the 2-5 Seahawks, the 0-7 Lions, and the badly fading Panthers at this point. And their losses are to the Bengals, Cardinals, and Browns. So as Rick mentioned earlier, you have to evaluate what it is, the competition that you've gone up against when we're evaluating where you are right now. Now, that all aside, the Vikings are still capable of winning this game. Are you nervous for the Cowboys is the question. And I'm not necessarily nervous in this particular game because if Dak doesn't play, we know he's dealing with an injury. He's confirmed it. McCarthy's talking about it with the threshold, which I agree with you, Marcellus. It's a big, scary word. Threshold.
Right.
So there's reasons to be concerned about Dak right now. But moving forward, you just want to get him healthy. They're in a good situation this week. They don't need to rush him back. Don't make the situation worse than it already is.
I can't tell you how good I feel that I've just been on the same side as Catwoman these first 2 segments. It just
Is that what
makes
we
me
doing?
feel like I'm truly in the Halloween spirit.
A space lizard
No question
kind
about
of.
How you got leotards on your arms? Like, what is
That's
that?
how they made it.
What is that? Are you Catwoman right now? I don't want to.
I'm not cat. I don't know if there's a cat. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I'm something. I match the backdrop.
Just a cheetah? Anybody? Before we head to break, Fox Bet Super 6 wants you to stack the cash. He wears that. Scan the QR code and download the app and enter the free-to-play NFL Sunday Challenge contest. Make your picks and then invite your friends to play as well. More people who enter, the bigger the jackpot is. Hey, Joe, I heard you got 5 contests, 5 costumes.
5 costumes, yes.
Oh, good. Coming up, the Lakers had a huge lead last night, but it all went away. I tell you, if it's too early to hit the panic button on that dude right there, Russell Westbrook in L.A. That's next. Don't speak for yourself.
I look like a hot Cheeto.
Last night, Astros battle back to tie the World Series at 1 game apiece with the Braves. Now the scene shifts to Atlanta for tomorrow's pivotal Game 3. Slick and Joy, Astros got the momentum. Who you got taking Game 3 tomorrow, though? Slick? Anybody?
I've got the Braves at home with old soul Ian Anderson continuing this amazing run for a guy who's only been in the major leagues for 14 months. Still 3-0. I expect that to be 4-0 when all is said and done.
I also have the Braves in Game 3 in the ATL.
Yeah, going back to ATL, it's amazing. This compromised team, the Atlanta Braves, beat a compromised team with a tremendous roster in my LA Dodgers. So, hey, rooting for your Braves. Continue up 2-1. Let's get to the NBA, where the Lakers had a 26-point lead last night without an injured LeBron James. Who? LeBron James. But the Thunder came back for their first win of the year. Russell Westbrook had a rare quadruple-double. Y'all know what that is? Nah, not a 4x4 in and out. But part of that were 10 turnovers. Damn. In the closing seconds with the game in hand, OKC's Darius Bazley stole the ball and went in for a dunk. Russ did not take that too well. Oh, no. He got in his face and was ejected. Damn. So, Joy, is it too early to hit the panic button on Russ in L.A.?
Yes, it's too early. We're 5 games in. It's too early.
5.
Yes. First of all, this was going to happen whether it was Russell Westbrook or any other veteran on the court. This always happens when somebody does that. When someone goes in for the dunk, there's a little back and forth. It gets a little chippy because you're not supposed to do that. I don't necessarily mind it either way. I don't mind Russ reacting the way that he did, even though they were losing, and I don't mind the dunk either. Like, you're at home to the fans. It's a huge comeback. I see both sides of it, I suppose. But as far as panicking about Russell Westbrook, it's way too soon. It's too soon to panic about this LA team in general. And I get it. You're on a team with LeBron James. Even if he's not on the court, there are higher expectations. This is Los Angeles. This is the Lakers. You are on the clock from the moment that you get here. Now, Russell Westbrook was brought here to do a specific thing. He plays 110 miles per hour every second that he's on the court, and that's what he was brought here to do. And this is a specific moment that he's in right now with LeBron being out, because they are an older team and he is the guy that brings the energy. He's going to have to adjust the shots that he's taking. We wondered if this was going to work with Harden and KD in Brooklyn, right? Like, is Harden going to be able to bring his game and adjust his game to work in that system and be a distributor and adjust? Well, Westbrook's going to have to do the same thing. He is going to have to adjust his game, bring that same energy, but stop taking bad shots and be a commander, be a veteran on the floor, make good decisions. I don't think it's a time to panic. It's going to take a little while to get this going. And if you look at Russell when he was in Houston in 2019, 2020, and last year in D.C., he had slow starts and then got it together. It's a very long season. There's no reason to panic. His first 3 months last year, points per game, 19.9. For the first 3 months. Rest of the season, 23.7. Rebounds per game, 9.9. Rest of the season, 12.6. Assists per game went up. Field goal percentage went up. It takes a little while to get things going. There are a lot of veterans. There are a lot of different pieces that have to work together. It's just gonna take a little time. Just gotta be a little patient with this pottery.
There is no reason for panic because this was to be expected. This is simply a dose of reality. This is not something out of the ordinary. This is who Russ Westbrook is. I don't really, we could go back and forth about the issues with the last second dunk. It's everything else that is vital to consider when it comes to what this game meant as far as Westbrook and the Lakers at large. I'm less worried about the dunk than I am the fact that this was a Thunder team that was averaging 94 points a game through their first 3-4 games and had not won, and they scored 123. And the Lakers are giving up an average of 115. A big part of that is because Russ Westbrook is, as your point guard, the spearhead of your defense, and he's a subpar defender. Carmelo Anthony, subpar defender. Rajon Rondo, subpar defender. DeAndre Jordan, if he wasn't a subpar defender, despite being a big man, he'd still be in Brooklyn. So the issue is what Russ Westbrook creates for you. The saying that we've had over and over is, they got to just let Russ be Russ. Well, Russ has had more quadruple doubles than anybody in the league. It's what he does. In order for him to get those big numbers, you have to put the ball in his hands and let him play this erratic style. That's fine, but it has never worked to a championship level. And yes, he's played with other guys, and he's tried to make this adjustment. He tried to make it with James Harden, tried to make it with Bradley Beal, tried to make it with Kevin Durant before KD left town. He simply hasn't been able to do it. And at this point, I don't think it's a matter of want to. I think it's a matter of able to. This is who Russ is. He plays an erratic, up-tempo style. It produces energy. It produces points. It produces big numbers, but it doesn't produce wins at the most important time of the year. So regular season, yeah, they're going to win more than they're going to lose. Russ is going to have his numbers. But is this, if we're talking about the panic button in terms of this is a reflection that this program is not going to work when it matters most in the postseason, this is evidence of that.
Damn, it's way too early to be talking like that, Slick. Passing out these damn flowers for this funeral.
I was talking about this last summer.
I mean, well, it was too early then. It is way too early now because you actually have 5 games of evidence, and you're going to use that against them. Damn. This is how you talk about a future Hall of Famer and Russell Westbrook? Glad you didn't cover football, because I wasn't even a Hall of Famer. I imagine how you covered me. Good Lord, I had some moments, and you won't give Russ Westbrook his flowers, so I'm going to defend him. Not because I'm a Laker fan, because I'm from L.A., homie, and you ain't going to be talking about the homie like that, homie. All right, here's the thing. You act like Russell Westbrook is leading the league in turnovers per game. That's not him. I wonder if Ja Morant is a good player to you. Because Russell Westbrook is right there sandwiched between him and Kevin Porter. But I don't hear you calling Ja Morant out like that. Maybe because we ain't got that topic yet. You act like that Russell Westbrook got the worst plus-minus in the league. That ain't him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Y'all know about my boy SGA. He a beast, too. Oh, I don't hear you calling him out. We ain't had that topic yet either. But then it's Brandon Ingram, there's James Harden, and then you get to Russell Westbrook. But it's amazing you pick out Westbrook and want to pour dirt on him and not other great players that are not playing so well early in the season. What about three-point percentage? I keep hearing that about Russell Westbrook. He ain't shooting right. Last time I checked, the worst in the league right now. 5 games, Joy, 5 games. Bradley Beal. Y'all ain't calling Bradley Beal out. Matter of fact, y'all trying to trade for Bradley Beal. Every team out there is still. Oh, Damian Lillard. He's having his shooting woes early in the season. We putting dirt on him? Hell no. Y'all trying to blame all of these issues on Russ Westbrook when LeBron ain't even in the building just yet. LeBron James is missing in action in these last couple of games. And you're going to hit the panic button when the star is not in the building, when the main dude's not there? I don't know about y'all, but if I went to see Hobbs and Shaw and The Rock wasn't in it, guess what? I don't think it's going to be as good. And that's what the Lakers are without LeBron James. Not as good. But panic button, way too early back then, Slick, and way too early right now.
Yeah, it's not time to panic. We get through halfway through the season and we're still dealing with this, then we can start panicking. It's a really long season. And despite the numbers that I gave you earlier about how Russ has adjusted from the first 3 months of the season and through the rest of the season, LeBron with new pieces, his team starts slow as well. You remember the Heat in 2010, 2011? Started 9-8. Panic! Panic, mayhem from the sky. It's falling. 2014, 2015, the Cavs started 19-20. 2018, 2019, the Lakers started 2-5. Just slow down a little bit. It's going to be okay. It's a long season. There are a lot of new pieces here, veteran pieces that take maybe even longer to adjust than younger pieces because they do have their style of play. They do bring their own experiences. So, yes, it's going to take a little time to get these things going. I didn't learn anything from the preseason. You didn't have a full roster there giving 100%. This is the oldest team in the league. It's just going to take a little more time to get things going. Now, if there gets to a point in the season where Russ is still doing this, then, yes, we can start talking about panic. We're just getting slight learns right now, and they are as well, and they're the ones that need to make the adjustments.
You guys are acting as if Russ Westbrook has never played this way before. As if this isn't who Russ Westbrook is, and this idea that he's coming to the Lakers and now he's suddenly going to change and play a different style. Why? Because he has a chance at a championship? He had a chance, supposedly, at a championship when he was in Oklahoma City. In fact, they even went to the finals. Didn't change who Russ Westbrook was. And I'm really, really disappointed in both of you because you have both done the whataboutism, especially you, Marcellus. Instead of looking at what Westbrook is doing and not doing, we're going to, well, what about Bradley Beal? What about Damian Lillard? The difference is that we're not expecting Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal to be the point guard on a championship team. That's where the bar is set with the Lakers. If you were telling me, well, you know what, the Lakers are going to be, they'll be a playoff team and they'll win at least a round or two, I'd say, yeah, I think Russ Westbrook can be part of that program because I've seen him be part of that program. But to be a steadying influence on a team, and what did you guys say about age? LeBron James is in that age category. So all of the teams that you mentioned, Joy, that he's able to bring together and figure it out and lead to a certain direction, that was at an earlier time in his career. I'm not convinced that LeBron James is still capable of doing all the things that he did to gather those pieces and make them effective at this point. That's why they brought a Russ Westbrook in here. That's why they brought Carmelo Anthony. The problem is that those guys are no longer, if they ever were, not the caliber of two-way players that they once were. So I just look at this combination, and whether it's the way they lost to Phoenix Suns in the opener, or whether they scratched out a win over the San Antonio Spurs, or you're playing, let's consider, they were 40 up 41-19 in the first quarter, and then could not gather themselves to beat arguably the G League Oklahoma City Thunder. If there was ever a time for their experience to come to the fore, it would be in this particular game.
Oh, man.
They do need to finish games. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I would agree with you there. They need to finish games, and it is concerning that they let that lead go. But what Russ needs to adjust is not that major, and what he does and the style of play that he brings is what they need because they're an older team. They need that motor. They need that rage. They need that energy because they're an older team, and that is going to be valuable during the regular season. So what they need to learn early in the season is how to balance letting Russ play the way that he does because he does bring that energy and he does bring that extra push that they need as an older team, and how to do it in a way that leads to wins and will be valuable in the postseason. Because you are right, Rick, it's fallen short in the postseason. That's where the LeBron experience, that's where Carmelo, that's where AD come into this equation. How do you make it all work? That's what the beginning of the season is for.
Yeah, see, the one element here that is the most important element to me, and it does draw in the fact that he got kicked out at the end and he got upset about the dunk, is that Russell plays with such emotion. He plays on that edge. And that works well for a Lakers team that's older, and it's what they need. But it's what they need in the regular season. And that has never worked in the postseason because it's that now everything is heightened, and his response is to get even more emotional, which gets him even more erratic, which simply has not worked.
Man, stop. You act like we haven't watched you watch Russell Westbrook over the years. Russell Westbrook has one speed, and it's all out, all Russ. And two things have to happen. One, you got to get used to Russell Westbrook and that speed. And two, he has to get acclimated to his new surroundings. He speeds through the neighborhood. So, no, he doesn't see every street. He doesn't see every stop sign. He doesn't see every storefront. But with repetitions, you start to notice, oh, that's where they sell the fish. Oh, okay, that's where you get the sunflower seeds from. You know what I'm saying? You start to notice these things. And Russell Westbrook, 5 games into it, already panic button from Slick Rick. Tell me this, Slick Rick. Did you hit the panic button last year when the world champion Milwaukee Bucks were 2-3, just like the Los Angeles Lakers are 2-3? And this one has an excuse. These Lakers, LeBron's missed the last 2 games. You talk about LeBron ain't capable at this age. LeBron, with the games he's played, 26, 6, 5, 47% from the field and 48 from 3. Looks like he's more than capable. And Russ, I got your back, L.A., homie. Currently shooting 50% from field goals, 2-pointers, best of his career, second best of his career. Only player in the league, 17 or more, 9 or more, 9 or more. Only player in the league. But, hey, let Slick do it. Hit the button. It's time to panic. Coming up, young quarterbacks are making their mark in the NFL. I got your back, homie, Westside. I'll tell you which members of the 25 or younger club are ready for a Super Bowl run. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Leave him alone, Slick. Welcome back. Currently, more than a third of the playoff spots in the NFL are occupied by teams with quarterbacks aged 25 or younger. Acho elbow. Halloween is right around the corner, and we wanted to set the tone. So let's play a game of Ready or Not. Here I come. We'll run through all 5 quarterbacks and tell you if they're ready or not to take their teams to the promised land. Y'all ready for this? All right. First up, Josh Allen has his Bills atop the AFC East. Last year, he led Buffalo to their first playoff win since 1995 and was the first Bills quarterback to win a playoff game since Jim Kelly, my dog. So, Jordan, is he ready or not to lead his team on a Super Bowl run?
Ready or not? Yes, he is ready. I was very wrong about Josh Allen. I'm not wrong very often, but when I am, I can admit it because it's so infrequent. And I was very wrong about Josh Allen. Kudos to the Bills. They were very patient with him, developed him, put a lot of nice pieces around him. They were in the AFC Championship game last year. They're playing great football this year. I think that they've taken a tremendous step up overall as a team. They're Super Bowl contenders, and I think he is playing great football. He is ready to take them to a Super Bowl.
I agree. I think they're ready. He's ready, and the Bills are ready, too, for all the reasons that Joy stated. I also believe that the door is wide open in the AFC. Yes. The Kansas City Chiefs having their issues. Josh Allen steps forward and is arguably the best quarterback in the entire conference. You have to get there to be able to win one. So certainly, with everything that Josh is doing and what the Bills are doing, he's on the threshold of winning Super Bowl.
Hell no, that's too far away. Certainly he's ready. Look, there's conversation did they get better as a team? There's conversation this year. Did he get better? And you certainly can make an argument both sides. But when you look at their opponent last year, AFC Championship game, there's no conversation for the Kansas City Chiefs getting better. So already you're putting yourself in rare air. Like, who else is going to contend with us since we've already been there? My only warning sign, my only cautionary tale for Josh Allen is this. He always has a spaz moment in those big games, that bad news bear moment. Like, he'll throw it backwards, he'll throw it sideways, he'll just throw it. He don't give a damn who catches it. We can get that out the way. This team could get over the hump and go to the next level. Next up, we have the 24-year-old Lamar Jackson. Former unanimous MVP, has the most wins ever for a quarterback under the age of 25. So, Slick, is Lamar ready or not to lead his team on a Super Bowl run?
He is absolutely ready. I was a doubter at the beginning when it came to Lamar Jackson. I didn't think a quarterback that depended on the run as much as he did could get it done. But he has become the absolute dual threat. He's demonstrating that he can throw. And the run is just, whether it's the rules or anything else, there is no answer for Lamar Jackson. He keeps every defense on pins and needles. And I just like the vibe of this Ravens team with a couple of older guys that want to get it done. it's not always just about that quarterback and whether he's capable. It's whether he has the car to drive to get there. Lamar Jackson has all of that.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is ready. He is, in fact, we discovered not a wide receiver. He is actually a quarterback. He's not a running back. He's actually a quarterback. I did not doubt Lamar Jackson, but that's fine. He's a little bit unconventional, and he does something to the level that nobody else does. So in the beginning, it was a little fair to be skeptical of how he was going to develop, but he has answered that question as an MVP. Most wins ever, 35 for a quarterback under the age of 25. Youngest quarterback to ever win MVP at 23. Youngest quarterback to start in a playoff game one day before his 22nd birthday. He has taken the league by storm. He is incredibly fast. He is incredibly dynamic and incredibly electric. And this Ravens team is a great team as well. Tough loss last week, but hey, division opponent, and the Bengals are getting better, as we'll discuss. I think they're ready to go on a Super Bowl run, and he can lead them there.
Yeah, he's certainly ready. Second softball we've been thrown, so it's about to get tricky going forward and stickier as we go forward. Two things that jump out to me that are immeasurables that really show me what this team is about and Lamar Jackson is about. One, perseverance. Not only the transition from the collegiate game to the pro game and people telling him, no, he can't play quarterback, and the naysayers, but you imagine having naysayers and the way you shut them up is by winning a unanimous MVP, only 2 in NFL history, but also the fact that this team has compromised all the injuries and they persevered through that. And also their mental toughness. You play against Baltimore, you already know you're going to go through a slugfest. You already know that this is going to be a battle in the alley on the side. And they always show up. Even if they lose a game, they still bring that mindset, that physicality. They got spanked last week, but hey, only one team has ever been perfect. Let's move to 23-year-old Justin Herbert. Oh, my heart. Bill Belichick has already said he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league for a long time. The Chargers star already has 3 games this season with 3 or more passing touchdowns with 0 interceptions. So, Joy, is Herbert ready for it or not to lead his team on the Super Bowl run?
I think we're just going to brag about whether we were right about them or not also at the beginning of each of these, and I was right about Justin Herbert.
Oh, you were right?
Well, I didn't see this coming, but he's clearly capable, and he has, answered that question, but he's not quite ready to take them to a championship just yet. It's not just on him. He needs a little more experience. It's also, I'm sorry, Marcellus, I got to see the Chargers in a big game, not shank a field goal, not do that Chargers thing
we beat
that you'll
the
do
Chiefs.
in the postseason, okay? We're talking about postseason, all right? Clearly the Chargers have taken a major step up this year. We know what he did last year, AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, broke all the rookie records. He's incredible. He is the future. He's the guy. He's that dude. Love it, but they're not there yet.
Damn.
Yeah. Love Justin Herbert. He's not ready. We saw it against the Ravens. Ravens is the kind of team that he has to be able to get through with what he has with the Chargers in order to lead the Chargers to a Super Bowl, and he wasn't able to do that. We got another quarterback coming up. If I'm going to think that he's not ready, there's no way that I can suggest that Justin Herbert is after what I saw against the Ravens.
Oh, man. So y'all both saying not ready. I can't go there. I can't go there with y'all. I'm going to say he almost ready. I mean, God, I love him so much. Like, if he get into a playoff game and they start fast, look, he's 8-2 in his last 10 starts. The dude is a monster. He's a beast. He's 6'6", 240, can move and throw the ball end zone to end zone. There's nothing he can't do. Why are we in this place where we're, like, imagining that in reality he can't live up to the moment? I remember when Kirk Cousins had to go play New Orleans a couple years ago. People were like, he can't win a playoff game. He never performs well in prime time, and he won that game. He almost ready. He ain't there yet. Damn it, Justin. Come on, let's get there. Next up, we have 24-year-old Joe Burrow. Oh, this is going to be good. The Bengals star led Cincy to an impressive 5-2 start and also has an NFL best 7 games this season with multiple passing touchdowns. So, Slick, is Joe ready or not to lead his team on a Super Bowl run?
You got the problem with Justin Herbert. I got the problem with Joe Burrow. I would love to say that he's ready. I would love to say that these Bengals are ready. I cannot in either case. And this is with a Joe Burrow who took apart those Ravens, unlike Justin Herbert. But when I look at where he is in terms of coming back, still coming back from the knee injury, and again, it's the team around him. He has made huge strides, but in a second year, essentially his first year, to be honest with you, because last year was shortened by injury, it's just too much to ask that he's going to have all of the information necessary. he still hasn't really played in a big game of any kind. There's no expectations for him or the Bengals. So until I see him walk into a game with those expectations, which could come somewhere down the line this season with them playing for the division, and I see how he responds to that, then I'll have a better indication of whether Joe Burrow is a really Super Bowl-worthy quarterback. I'd like to think so.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's not. I love Joe Burrow. Love Joe Burrow. He is completely elevating that team. The Bengals are the top of the AFC, Rick. Can you believe it? Crazy.
He doesn't even want to say
I know,
it.
I don't.
He's
I
scared.
don't.
Crazy.
He's
I
scared.
love it, though. And it's
I am scared. I am scared to embrace that.
It's wild, but I'm here for it. I love it. He's doing everything that's being asked of him and more, coming off a devastating injury, dealing with an insane, terrible offensive line last year. He's been incredible. He's elevated that organization. He's the first quarterback ever with 400-plus passing yards and 3 touchdowns at the Ravens, a massive win. But to your point, there were no expectations of them yet. I need to see the whole team take a level up, not just Joe Burrow. He is the tractor right now pulling the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's doing a tremendous job. But Super Bowl, they're a year away or more, but definitely at least a year away.
Man, that was some tough love right there. I love Joe Burrow. Nah, he ain't ready. You said it so fast, you didn't even have to think about it. You didn't even doubt it. And I'm with you, Joy. Nah, he ain't ready. Joe Burrow reminds me of my little son, MJ. Y'all know my favorite thing in this world, that little boy, MJ, right? Okay, so MJ walks into his little martial arts class, and he can actually kick for his age, right? And they all got to start off with the white belt. Then they get the white belt test, right? You can advance to the yellow belt. Now, MJ broke the board and did all this stuff, hit Master Kim in the neck, all this, right? And I was like, can he skip the yellow belt? Can we keep it going? They were like, no skipping steps, no skipping belts. Sorry, Joe Burrow, as great as you are, you better than MJ in that damn class. Nah, B, can't skip steps. Last but not least, 24-year-old Kyler Murray is balling out of control and has his Cardinals off to their best start in almost 50 years at 7-0. Plus, we'll get to see him tonight on Fox against the Packers. Plug. So, Joy, is Kyler ready or not to lead his team on a Super Bowl run?
Ooh, ready. I love watching this Cardinals team. Now, I do think the Packers are going to win tonight, but you can't deny what the Cardinals are doing. They're 7-0. They're a complete team. It's not just what Kyler Murray's doing. They're great defensive pieces. It's all coming together, an amazing receiving core, and he is the leader. He has completely taken over this franchise. He's playing unbelievable football. He leads the NFL, 73.5% completion percentage. As you mentioned, they're off to 7-0 start for the first time since 1974. And, for all the quarterbacks that I think are ready, they're just a little more seasoned. They're all young, but the ones that I think are ready have a little bit more experience. They've taken those steps up, those levels up that I think you need to get to a Super Bowl. And the Cardinals look Super Bowl ready, led by Kyler Murray, who is also in the MVP conversation.
All right.
Yeah, I'd start right there. He's ready because he is not just in the conversation. He's leading that conversation right now, leading the league in completion percentage. We know what he can do with his legs. He's the biggest and best dual threat next to Lamar Jackson that I've seen in this league. I might like Lamar's arm a little bit better than Kyler Murray's, but what he's been able to do, and it's not just that he's ready. It's that he and this Cardinals team is so hungry. Like, they have not experienced this in the longest time. They have this bond. It feels like they have this bond, this special bond of let's bring it together and let's do something that none of us have been able to do individually. And Kyle Murray is leading the way in that.
Yeah, I was on the fence with this one, actually, because I thought it was a little too much emotion coming out of me, not enough logic. I was like, I love Kyler Murray. I love all of his skills and his skill set, his attributes. Yes, he's ready. And then I was like, but is he skipping steps as well? But what I love from Kyler Murray and this Cardinals bunch is that they're improving every single year. 5 wins, 8 wins. They win tonight. They matched the win total of all of last year, and it's only after the 8th game. So only thing he has to do is master the pocket and the short pocket that he's going to see as Drew Brees once had. When you're a shorter passer, this is what happens. I played with Doug Flutie, and Bill Belichick Belichick figured out Doug Flutie, and it hurt my feelings, and it hurt our chances. All you got to do is have contained rushers that are disciplined to keep them in the pocket. And all of a sudden, 5'10" got to continuously stare over 6'4", 6'5", and 6'6". Now, he's not going to be able to run laterally like he wants to get those sight lines and mobility. Kyler Murray, in that moment, we will see. In the playoffs, they will certainly see if he can answer that test. That'll do it for Ready or Not. Sorry, Lauryn Hill, you ain't getting nothing from this. Hope these quarterbacks treat their teams not just on Halloween, but for the season to come. Y'all know I went to school, Lauryn Hill, right? All right, anyway, we're not done talking Kyler Murray's squad. Coming up, I'll tell you if the undefeated Cardinals are the best team in the NFL. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. For real, Jordan. We used to freestyle on the phone. The Cardinals will try to keep their perfect season going when they host the Packers tonight on Fox. Arizona's the only undefeated team in the NFL, but they currently have the fourth best odds to win the Super Bowl according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Trailing the Bucks, Bills, and Rams. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings in the building. So, Greg, are the Cardinals the best team in the NFL?
Yes, they are. Right now, currently as it stands, they are the best team in the NFL. Not only does their record suggest that, but when you look at how they've been able to play offensively and defensively, and Rick, you can squint your eyes all you want to. Don't give me the look of, oh, they barely beat the Vikings or they had to let this happen. Teams have to have close wins in order for us to call them tested and tried and true. But when you look at what they have on both sides of the ball, they got players on every level. Defensively, Chandler Jones getting after the quarterback, Isaiah Simmons at linebacker emerging. And when you got a guy like Buddha in the back end taking care of everything and erasing all mistakes or potential mistakes that you may showcase, you typically can't lose. And then offensively, I'm gonna save Kyler Murray for last because we'll continue to talk about him. But DeAndre Hopkins obviously is stud, but Chase Edmonds and James Conner in the backfield has given this team solidified running game and a dual passing and running attack. They both can catch out of the backfield. They both can run in between the tackles and outside on the edges. And Kyler Murray has just taken on this team as its own. And I love what Cliff Kingsbury has done, not only with his personnel, but even with the coaching staff, making sure that Vance Joseph is locked in on the defense. Look, you've been a head coach in this league. You run that defense. You get us where we need to be, and I'll focus on the offense. And this is why you have success and why, in my opinion, they are the best team in the National Football League. They're super balanced on offense. They can take the ball away on defense. They're top scoring defense. They do so many things well. It's hard for me to say that they're not.
I don't know why you thought that I was going to come at you, Greg. Although I will push back. I had that look, right? I will push back on the idea that close games are the proof that you need that test. It depends on how you get to that close game. If it's by your own mistakes, then I don't know that that's a demonstration of your greatness to overcome your own mistakes and creating a close game. But all that said, I'm actually with you. I think it's somewhat by default because we've had the other teams that we would expect to be there that we still might think by the end of the season could be the best team. But the question is, who is the best team right now? And it is the Arizona Cardinals, simply because they are the most balanced team in the NFL. There's only two teams right now that are in the top four in scoring offense and scoring defense, and that would be the Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills. And as I look at the two schedules, the Buffalo Bills have had the second easiest schedule, I believe, in the league. And the Arizona Cardinals haven't had a world-beating schedule, but it has been tougher to this point than the Buffalo Bills. So when I put all that together, there's still some tests the Cardinals have to pass. They have built their way to this point. As noted earlier in the show, they're one win away from matching the number of wins they had all of last season. We still need to see them toward the end of the season when things get a little tougher. But that said, if we're speaking about today, right now, I simply can't make a case for another team in the league being better than the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, man, the Arizona Cardinals are the best team in football. Let me be cliche and corny and boring. Hey, you are what your record says you are, right? Let's get deeper than that. Golly, I don't even get that, and I'm going to diffuse that in a second. Here's the thing. Arizona Cardinals, thank God we do this show on the daily because, boy, is this a fluid conversation. It's not just going to be based on record. It's going to be based on performance and what we see from a team. So you see the Cardinals allowing the fewest points per game in the league. Did I say that? Cardinals allowing the fewest points per game. The Cardinals with that offense allowing the fewest. There you go. Now you're talking about that's the best team in the league because you're like, even the thing you perceive as a weakness is actually a strength for this team. And then Kyler Murray, goodness. I keep talking about how in short space he makes more micro decisions than any other quarterback. His footwork, his quickness, and the fact that he has learned to perform in the pocket. And look at his completion percentage, over 73% completion percentage, shows you that there's no weakness in his game. There's no weakness in terms of this team in totality, and there's no weakness in his game. All that said, let's not just base this on the record, guys, because this is interesting, and I'm glad I got Greg Jennings in the building. Did a little ghetto homework up here right now. Looked at the teams with the top 20 records all time in NFL history. And I was like, damn, you would think that 15 of them won the Super Bowl or the championship? No. You would think, okay, all right, 10 of them won? No. 7 out of 20 best records won it all. That means 13 didn't, including you, Greg. Yeah.
Why we got to go here?
15-1. How that look? I know there was some old dusty host on Speak for Yourself back in 2011 saying, oh, man, this is the best team in football, these Green Bay Packers. No, y'all wasn't, because y'all didn't win it all. Matter of fact, y'all lost in the divisional round. Point being, this is a fluid conversation. Let's go back to those Patriots, 16-0. Everyone said yes, 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 until the end. The real question beyond are they the best team right now is will they finish the deal?
Finishing the deal is all what it's all about. That's literally what it's all about. And what I love about this team are a lot of the things that you guys just mentioned. But when you look at a roster and how you configure a roster, you got to have youth. You got to have some experience. And they got it not only within their coaching staff, but when you look at the players and the personnel that they've brought together, they have youth. They have experience. So you have guys who have been there, who still want that win, who hasn't tasted it. You have some guys who've tasted it and tasted some of what success really looks like. And then you have the guys who just don't know any better. And that's kind of Kyler Murray. He just doesn't know any better. Even Cliff Kingsbury, they don't know any better. And those are sometimes the most fearful individuals, those who have no fear because what they don't know, they can't be afraid of. They just go out and be who they are. But then you have those other guys that are able to guide you and not allow you to be so sparingly missing it here, left and right, to pull and dial you in. This is why this team is so different. And I'll say this, and you said it's fluid throughout the course of the season. What makes this team so unique is the relationship between head coach and quarterback. We have not heard one time where there has been an issue between who's the alpha as far as the entirety of the team. Cliff Kingsbury, I don't care how anyone views him, that team respects him, and the quarterback is respected. And he's looked at, regardless of age, as the alpha in that locker room. And that is credit to the personnel and the way they've set that culture, basing it around Kyler Murray.
Greg, you hit it right there. That is the hammer hitting the nail. But be real, too. If your coach had a house like that, wouldn't you be nice to him all the time, too? You'd be like, hey, baby, I got to go to coach's
100%.
house. Watch film. I got to watch film at coach's house. God, dog. He out there living. Arizona, do your thing. But you know what he also out there doing? You're right. The reason they respect Cliff Kingsbury is because he's actually improving in terms of his coaching as well. You look at the air raid that he came in. People were saying he didn't even deserve opportunity to be a head coach in NFL, losing record at Texas Tech. And then not only did you see him hit the ground, and he didn't hit the ground running, he hit the ground face first, 5-10-1, then 8-8, and now 7-0. And those improvements have shown itself in coaching as well. The air raid used to have no pre-snap. You just go out there and say, hey, we're going to dictate turns because it's going to be empty backfield or one back, 4 wides. We're just going to dictate terms. Now, they're doing pre-snap. They're playing around with the formations to the point where you can see now Kyler Murray can dictate turns. That's why he's playing so well and improving in his performance. Not just the win-loss column, but how they're actually going out there and handling business. Coming up, Baker Mayfield says he absolutely can play on Sunday and handle business. Really? I'll tell you what's actually on the line for him this weekend, and that's next on For Your Shelf. Hey, Cliff.
Let's head to Cleveland. Baker Mayfield missed last week with a completely torn labrum and a fractured humerus bone in his non-throwing shoulder. The Browns still won with Case Keenum at QB, but Baker seems confident about coming back this Sunday against the Steelers. Let's take a listen.
You know, I said it last week, if I feel like I'm not able to be close to 100% and be able to help this team. If I'm in a situation where I'm going to hurt the team, I'm not going to go. So that's where we were at, and that's what we evaluated.
Is playing Sunday a possibility? I know you said you're going to see how it goes, but
absolutely.
All right, Marcellus. So, what's on the line for Baker this weekend?
Man, how they think of him. And it's just as simple as that, perception. Kurt Warner talked about this and really was eloquent about it. I want everyone to close their eyes, but don't do it because we're on TV. Don't want anything to happen to you guys. But just think, Kurt Warner in St. Louis. Wow, what do you think? MVP, right? Kurt Warner, New York Giants. Kurt Warner, Arizona Cardinals. Same dude, different opportunities. Different perception. Hey, Baker Mayfield, let me help you out, big dog. I've been in contract years before, bruh. You better show up and show out, because once they start doubting you, it's hard to make them believe in you once again. It gets very difficult. Few and far between will be those opportunities once again for Baker Mayfield if he messes up this opportunity. Think about how he got to this place in the first place. You go out there and you're fully healthy, and it's the Cleveland Browns coming off a playoff season where they actually win a playoff game, and this team is ready to roar. And Baker Mayfield, healthy, fully capable, ready to go and improve on last year's performance. And then what happens? He doesn't play well. Then what happens? He gets injured off of an interception, continues to get injured, and still not playing that well. All of a sudden, to the point where you can't go out there now, they insert your backup, Case Keenum. And the headlines are they any different with their backup? That's an insult to you if you're Baker Mayfield. Any starter in this league, if they say they could put your backup in and there's no difference, that's an insult to the starter. I don't give a damn how many props you're giving to that backup. So now Baker Mayfield, let's be real, is trying to rush back because he knows, hey, man, perception is starting to change about me. Let me go out there and remind him. But the problem is the psych job that I think is going to do on Baker Mayfield. What are you going to do in terms of drawing on the resources to get you back to that winning level, that great performance level? You can't ask your body. Your body's like, hey, dog, you know, in the beginning of this year, we were healthy and we didn't play that well. So don't act like we got to be healthy to play well. And then you can't go out there and say, well, it's the weapons around me and everything. You got guys that are injured, that are compromised. And even the guys that are healthy, you're not fully maximizing them in your offense. I ain't going to lie to you, bruh. At least in my contract year, I started off slow, too. I get it. After 9 weeks, I only had 1 sack. I was beating myself up. But the only thing that gave me confidence was I was coming off of surgery, so I knew every week I was getting stronger and would improve. What does Baker Mayfield right now have in terms of confidence to draw on? I don't see it. So he better go out there and change the perception, or it's going to be an ugly reality going forward.
What's on the line for Baker Mayfield is a couple things. For his future, whether or not he is a legitimate future franchise quarterback for any team outside of Cleveland. What's on the line for him at Cleveland is just pride right now. Like, you're their guy. So feeling like you need to play because you're hearing the chatter of Case Keenum and there's no difference, that is pride. Marcellus, we've all been there. Rick, you've been there too. We've been there. We feel like, well, let me erase that connotation of we're the same, we're on the same playing field. No, you don't have to do that. If you're not healthy, sit back and wait till you get healthy, because right now you're Cleveland's best option. They're not going to go turn around next year and draft a quarterback and replace Baker Mayfield. They would have to trade for a guy. Now, if that happens, then that means some team is going to have to agree to that trade, and they say you are a franchise guy for a team outside of Cleveland. So your franchise credibility is on the line here. So a lot of times we've all players, all athletes across the board, I don't care what level, we've allowed our pride to go out in front of us and put us on the field of play just because we want to show I can still do this even though I'm not 100%. Yes, but Brett Favre told me one time, if you can't do it better than 80%.
Oh, damn, Slick. Brett Favre didn't want that out.
We got the freeze.
Yeah, Brett Favre said, hey, dog,
Yes.
stop telling all my secrets.
You brought up Brett Favre's name, and suddenly the I don't know what that means.
Detractors.
Look, it's pretty simple. What is on the line for Baker Mayfield? Everything. Future and present. Because it's his extension. It's the size of that extension. It's and a big part of this is also who they are playing. The Pittsburgh Steelers, a division rival, but the worst team in the division right now. So this is a very vital game. And it's everything is on the line, whether he plays or whether he doesn't. Because if he doesn't, and Case Keenum gets them another win, then the growing talk of, well, maybe we're better with Case Keenum than we are with Baker Mayfield is only going to continue. If he plays and they lose or he gets injured, there are so many things that have to do with whether Baker Mayfield retains that job currently and performance-wise, how's that going to be graded as far as what the Cleveland Browns do, whether they're able to still contend for the division or a wild card playoff spot. This is a huge game in all of that. And how Baker Mayfield figures into it or doesn't figure into it is going to have a huge influence on how the Browns look at him and their prospects at quarterback going forward. It's even, I dare say, going to affect his commercial status, because I don't know that if you're the backup QB that you still get to live in the house. Is that still your house? I don't know. I think they'd have to rewrite the commercial in case Keenum might be getting some dollars.
That's real. Hey, Greg, you worked that out with Brett Favre. Can you tell us what he was saying?
I did. Well,
cursed you.
Brett told me one time when I was playing, he said, Greg, if you can't play hurt better than 80% of the guys out on the field or 85% of the guys out on the field, then sit back. Let somebody else step in and take that role.
Damn, that's it, Greg? Really? Oh, we knew that, Brett.
That was it.
Yeah. Brett ain't the deepest dude.
Had a little bit more punch if my Wi-Fi didn't spaz out on me.
No, I get it, and you're right. And I wish Brett was my teammate to tell me that the times I went out there 50%, because you're always on film, and you think you're doing something heroic. I'm playing 50% because I'm the starter, and they count on me, and I'm a teammate. And then you go out there and look like garbage, trash, and then they start looking at you differently. Even though they think you're a hero, you soon turn to a zero in their eyes. And Baker Mayfield, you're in trouble rushing back because of your backup, and he may come take your job. You ain't lying to us. We can see right through this. Baker Mayfield doesn't think he's the best option. That's why he rushing back. This is a hit dog that's hollering. You know what? I need to get back out there because they kind of own my scent. They understand that Case Keenum and there is a difference. Case Keenum was never thought of as the #1 overall draft prospect. I get that, Baker. But you don't get that to the point where now you're going to put yourself in a compromising situation and then rely on what? You haven't been playing well right now, so maybe you do need a little more time away. Also, you're not healthy, boy. If you're not healthy, what you gonna do out there? My car's gonna roll better on 2 flats than it did on 4 tires. It ain't gonna roll better. I just don't see where Baker is gonna get this magic from. And he's gonna mess around and let them see him at a lesser version that's gonna end up taking him from hero to zero. Coming up, things are not going as expected for the Chiefs. I'll tell you if KC can still make a playoff push. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Uh-oh, baby. Last night, the Astros battled back to tie the World Series at 1 game apiece with the Braves. Now the scene shifts to ATL for pivotal Game 3. Tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Ding, 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 ding. Speaking of the Fall Classic, Big Papi is giving away $25,000 for Game 3 of the World Series on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Super 6 players have won over $5 million, and you could be the next jackpot winner. Scan the QR code, download the app, and answer 6 questions about Game 3 before the first pitch tomorrow night on Fox. Don't miss out. It's free to play. Kansas City will try to bounce back Monday night against the Giants after being blown out by the Titans. Patrick Mahomes said this week he didn't think the Chiefs were suffering from a Super Bowl hangover, saying, quote, "You want to find a way to get back to the game." So, Slick, can the Chiefs still make a playoff push?
Yes. Even asking this question is as insulting as asking whether Aaron Rodgers can upset the Cardinals tonight. The answer is yes to both of those questions. And here's why. Because there's plenty of, well, first of all, the division that they're in and the conference that they're in. They have had an issue with one thing and one thing primarily, and that's turnovers. They lead the NFL in turnovers, 5 more than anybody else in the league. That is a fixable problem. They still have a dynamic offense, and I dare say that their defensive issues have a lot to do with field position and the fact that the offense has turned the ball over as much as it has. But the reality is they have 10 games left. Half of those are against teams in the division. Are you telling me that they can't possibly still vie for the division lead with the Raiders playing under a substitute head coach and having 2 games left against those Raiders and 5 against division opponents overall? And then I look at the wild card picture. Even if we're going to the wild card and not the division lead, that is completely wide open. When I look at the Steelers and some of the other teams that they would have to leapfrog in order to get into that position, this is still very much for the Chiefs to get. The idea that they can't get there, as I said, it's an insulting question to a team that's just been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years.
Yeah, they can still make the playoffs, but is it going to be easy? No. No one fears the Chiefs. Let's clear that right now. No one fears the Chiefs, even when you're talking about teams within their division. No one fears this team that we just saw light up the scoreboard the last few years. Why? Because of the quarterback. Even though as great as he is, they know right now he's forcing the issue. It's like having a great basketball player who you know how great he is, but his teammates are good, but he still wants to put up all the shots. Dare I say Russell Westbrook when everybody's on the court. I'm not going to do that to Russ because I love Russ. But Patrick Mahomes right now is the problem. You talk about the turnovers, let's call it what it is. When they're having success, he's one of the main reasons why they're having that success. But now that they're struggling, if we focus in on turnovers, well, he has 11 of those 17 turnovers that you're talking about, Rick. And so if you eliminate that, if you stop trying to force the issue, and am I saying that he can't be Patrick Mahomes? No, be Patrick Mahomes, but be Patrick Mahomes that we've seen in the past, not who you're trying to be because you feel like I got to put up points, I got to force the ball in there because I need to counter what my defense lacks. You don't have to do that because you're hindering your team. I coached flag football this year, and I had to tell some of the kids, like, stop trying to make every interception because trying to go get that interception on defense, you leave a vacancy because you're not trusting that your counterparts are going to get it done. That's Patrick Mahomes right now. He doesn't trust his defense. And so sometimes as an offensive player, I've been told several times, guys, we got to score because the defense is going to give up points. Well, when you start to feel that and your record starts to promote that, oh, shoot, we got to start winning some of these games, you start putting more than what necessarily needs to be put on your own shoulders, and you have a team, a supporting cast that can take some of that weight off. So, yes, can they make the playoffs? Absolutely, but it's not going to be easy.
Damn, Greg. Broke that down. What age are these kids that you hitting them with the counterparts already? Like, how old are these kids? These some smart little kids.
Yeah, absolutely. They go to private school. They have bread.
Oh, that's
You
why
talk
you got
about
bread.
upper, middle, and lower school.
That's why you got bread.
I can talk to you that way.
Okay.
But they're 9 and 10.
9 and 10? Okay, yeah. You coaching where you didn't grow up. I can see that. All right, good for you,
No
Greg.
doubt.
Very good for you, Greg. I digress. Ain't nobody scared of these Chiefs, and they ain't gonna make a playoff push. And I've been telling y'all this week in, week out, all the way even into the Super Bowl, post-Super Bowl. I told you, man, hey, people have pulled the veil up, and they realize, oh, it's just a mortal. It's just a man. It's just a team. They had an air of invincibility for a while. Mike Tyson, early days. Early Mike with the towel and no socks and the black shoes and walking in, not looking at anybody and not smiling. And then he went and saw Buster Douglas. And Buster Douglas knocked that air of invincibility out of him. Not to me. If I see Mike Tyson today, I'm still shook, because I remember that. But guess what? I'm not on the field. I'm not in the ring with him. Those on the field with Patrick Mahomes and them dudes, oh, they ain't scared no more. It's just us on the outside who haven't got the memo just yet. Let me tell you why. Patrick Mahomes played 53 games early in his career, with only 2 of them with a passer rating under 75. And now, in the last 8 games, he has 3. 53, only 2, 8, 3. Oh, it's all about the defense. Y'all forget this defense wasn't good a couple years ago. Then it got good, and then it went okay. Like, don't blame it all on the defense. We've seen this before from Patrick Mahomes, if you remember why Patrick Mahomes wasn't the #1 overall draft pick. Because there were scouts and personnel saying, in his DNA, he gonna roll the dice. Or as Greg's players would do, try to get all the passes, all the picks, and risk doing some of the fundamental things. You know why we practice so much in the NFL? This always blows people's mind when I'm like, yo, we practice way more than we perform and play. Like, we always in meetings, always practicing. You know why? Because it's harder to be great than it is to be sorry. If we didn't practice, we'd be sorry. We'd be disjointed. We'd be all over the place. So the reason why we put in countless hours is because it's hard as hell to be great. And right now, you're starting to realize how hard it is to stay great if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't see this team making a push, not when their quarterback is going back to his old ways and his defense is going back to its old ways.
Marcellus, I say that this question is insulting, and you just double down and go, not only is it appropriate, but the answer is no, they ain't getting there.
They ain't getting there.
Look, if we were asking Patrick Mahomes to be something that he's never been before, that we hope he could be in order to get there, then I might be with you. But all we're asking Patrick to be is what he had been the previous 2 years when he was leading this team to a Super Bowl, when he was rolling the dice, when he still had the same DNA. He was just more efficient about it. He knew when to roll the dice, and he knew when not to roll the dice. So is he feeling that pressure with the defense as it is right now, and is that compounding the problem? Sure, but the idea that Patrick Mahomes can't learn from his mistakes to this point and is going to continue to play the way he has up to this season, I'm just not buying that. And yes, they don't have the same swagger. They don't have the same intimidation factor. But you act as if that's the only thing they had going for them, that they didn't have a dynamic offense and didn't have talent across the board when it comes to that. They do. So when I add that, and I just need Patrick to go back to being Patrick. And then I look at the rest of the division, Marcellus. Okay, you're not intimidated by KC. Tell me who KC should be intimidated when it comes to the division. Raiders scaring anybody? No, hell no. Your Chargers? I don't think so. They go down the line. It's wide open. It's there for the taking. And if there's any team that has the experience of how to get there and get it done in the division, it is without question Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, my God, Slick, you done fell into a trap. You keep talking about the Raiders like they ain't balling out of control post-racism. Emails racist. They undefeated since they went through racism. Are you kidding me?
How many games?
Keep clowning their coach if you want.
How many games?
They are 2-0. Hey, it counts.
How many games?
And they haven't played these Chiefs yet. Hey, last time I checked, the Chiefs played the Chargers. How'd that go? Oops, they lost that game already, so the Chargers is looking at them like, bruh, bring it on. You better chill out, Slick. And last time I checked, no team in the last 17 years have made the playoffs when they lead the league in giveaways. And I only said 17 because in 2003, a team made the playoffs, but they were one and done. Chiefs are stuck. Chiefs are done. Coming up, tonight's huge matchup has two of the best quarterbacks in the game. But I'll tell you who I trust more, Aaron Rodgers or Kyler Murray. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Come on, Slick. The Packers are on the road tonight on Fox in a huge matchup against the Cardinals. Kyler Murray has led his squad to a perfect 7-0 start this season. Aaron Rodgers' Packers are 6-1, but he'll be without two of his top targets, Davante Adams and Allen Lazard, who are both on the COVID-19 list. So, Greg, who do you trust more tonight, Kyler Murray or Aaron Rodgers, your boy?
What kind of question is like this? Is like a setup, really? Like, I've played with this guy, and you expect me to go with Kyler Murray, although his resume up to this point is spectacular. But it's Aaron Rodgers. Who do I trust more? Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about a Super Bowl champ. I'm talking about a three-time MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, a 9-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro first team. Like, should I continue or do I need to continue? Like, it's Aaron Rodgers. That's like me saying I got a stock guy for you. He's going to manage your money. You give all your assets and liability, put everything that you own into his possession. He's accomplished so much. He's earned so many people so much money. But I got this new guy. He's evolving. He's up and coming. He's made a lot of money for a lot of people, but he's only done it for about a couple years. You giving your money, you giving all your assets and everything you own to that guy? No, you're not. I'm sorry. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the guy you're talking about is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett wants to invest your money, or the guy that just graduated from business school. Which direction are we going? Greg Jennings, where have you been all my life? Or at least, where have you been this entire show? Because we got to this at the very beginning. Marcellus Wiley doubting the great Aaron Rodgers, who is the, last I checked, reigning MVP in the NFL versus the guy who hopes to be the next MVP. Yes, 7-0, but to be the king, you got to take the king's crown, do you not? And I think I might have mentioned it earlier. Not only all the accolades that Greg has, but this is a primetime game, and it's a Thursday night game. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers has never lost a primetime game in the last 2 years.
What about Thursday?
Kyler Murray has never won a Thursday night game. So add all of that. Who do I trust? You know who I trust. I don't even have to speak his name. Greg Jennings already did that for me.
I ain't got to push back on you, Slick, as much. But, Greg, don't act like you play with him and that's just the answer. You also have beef with him. And, I mean, I don't know which side y'all on right now. Look.
And we had no beef on that field.
You ain't never lied. I felt some of that thing. I understand that. Respect. It's not just about how they're playing, and it's Kyler Murray for me, because Kyler Murray is playing at the top level as well as Aaron Rodgers. So it's not going to be just what's the tiebreaker, how they're playing. It's where they're playing and who they're playing with. I give it to you in example form. Your trust with your significant other, let's just say my wife and her trust in me, it's not just the fact that I made my vows and commitment to her, but it's also where am I at and who am I with? So let's just say my wife trusts me a little more when I'm at home sleep than when I land in Brazil and I call her and say, hey, my boys ain't with me this time. They all got COVID, and they all back at the crib, and no Davante, and no Lazard. You know what she looking at? She still trusts me, but I think she trusts me a little bit more, like Kyler Murray at home with all his boys. Coming up, Russell Westbrook was ejected last night, but I'll tell you, if it was all an overreaction. Damn, we got another block? That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Y'all leave Russ alone. Admit it, Greg. Trust a little. The Lakers blew a 26-point lead and were upset by the Thunder last night. Yep, I'm reading fast. In the closing seconds with the game out of hand, OKC's Darius Bazley stole the ball and went in for a dunk. Russell Westbrook wasn't having it and was ejected. Whoa, take a listen to Russell's explanation.
How I play the game, and we're old school, and like that happen, I don't let it slide. Certain things you just don't do in sports. Game already over, and I didn't like it. Simple as that.
So, Slick, is Westbrook overreacting on the game stealing OKC dunk?
No, he's not overreacting. He was just reacting. That's Russell Westbrook. He's got the perpetual stink face. He's got the perpetual I'm taking issue with everybody. So that was perfectly normal for Russell Westbrook.
He wasn't overreacting. He wasn't reacting. He was just acting. Stop acting so damn tough. That's it for us. We'll see.